The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly before the small human cargo ship Star Trader. Its worn but well-maintained hull reflected the distant starlight as it made its routine journey between Earth's outer colonies. Inside the ship's bridge, Captain Tom Wilson hummed an old tune while checking the navigation systems. "Captain, we're picking up something big on long-range scanners," reported Mike, his sensor operator. The young man's fingers danced across the holographic display, bringing up more detailed readings. It's massive, sir." Tom leaned forward in his chair, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of the screens. At 53, he had spent more than half his life in space, but something about this reading made the hair on the back of his neck stand up. Before he could respond, the ship's communication system crackled to life. A deep, clicking voice filled the bridge, accompanied by a sound like rustling leaves. "Unidentified vessel. This is Commander Stone of the Galactic Alliance warship Dreadnought. You have entered restricted space. Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded." The crew of 5 humans exchanged glances. First contact. After all these years of space travel, they were about to meet aliens. Tom cleared his throat and pressed the communication button. "This is Captain Tom Wilson of the Earth vessel Star Trader. We weren't aware this was restricted space. We're a simple cargo vessel on a standard trading route." There was a pause, filled only by the soft hum of the ship's systems. Then the alien voice returned, somehow managing to sound both curious and threatening. "Earth vessel. Ah, yes. The newly spacefaring species." The clicking grew louder. "Our scans detect weapons, and something else. Something biological. Something dangerous." Tom frowned, looking at his crew in confusion. The only weapons they had were standard-issue defensive lasers, and as for biological, his eyes widened as he realized what they must be detecting. Before he could explain, a massive shadow fell over their ship. Through the bridge's viewport, the crew gasped at the sight of the alien warship. It was easily 20 times the size of their vessel, its hull covered in what looked like overlapping plates of dark metal, giving it the appearance of a giant armored insect. "Do not attempt to resist," Commander Stone's voice announced. "We are engaging our tractor beam." The Star Trader shuddered as the invisible force grabbed hold of it. Tom watched calmly as his ship was pulled into a massive docking bay. The sight that greeted them through the viewport made several crew members step back in surprise. Dozens of tall, mantis-like aliens stood in formation, their chitinous armor gleaming under the bay's lights. Each one stood at least 9 feet tall, with multiple limbs holding what were clearly weapons. Their compound eyes reflected the light in rainbow patterns, and their mandibles clicked rhythmically. "Captain," whispered Lisa, the ship's engineer, "should we be worried?" Tom shook his head, a slight smile playing on his lips. "No, just remember your first contact protocols. And try not to laugh." The crew looked at him in confusion, but before anyone could ask what he meant, a loud clang echoed through the ship as the aliens attached a docking tube. Commander Stone himself led the boarding party. His presence was even more impressive up close. Unlike his soldiers who wore plain armor, his was decorated with intricate patterns that seemed to shift in the light. His head rose well above the doorframe as he ducked to enter the ship's airlock. "Captain Wilson." Stone's mandibles clicked as he spoke, his translator converting the sounds into English. "Our scans have detected something that our database flags as extremely dangerous. A predator species, showing signs of enhanced strength, razor-sharp teeth, and aggressive tendencies." Tom kept his face carefully neutral, though his eyes twinkled. "I assure you, Commander, we're carrying nothing dangerous." "Then you won't mind if we inspect your cargo hold." Stone's compound eyes shifted, reflecting different colors. "My soldiers are detecting the creature's life signs from that direction." At that moment, a soft woof echoed through the ship's corridor. The effect on the alien boarding party was immediate and dramatic. Several soldiers raised their weapons, their mandibles clicking rapidly in what seemed to be alarm. Commander Stone's antennae went rigid. "It's awake," he hissed. Captain Wilson, you will explain the presence of this beast on your vessel, or we will be forced to take extreme measures. Tom sighed, knowing the next few minutes were going to be very interesting indeed. He just hoped he could keep a straight face long enough to prevent an interstellar incident. Of course, Commander. Please, follow me to the cargo hold. I'll show you our dangerous beast. The walk to the cargo hold felt longer than usual. Captain Tom Wilson led the way, followed closely by Commander Stone and 6 heavily armed alien soldiers. Their armored feet made clicking sounds against the metal floor of the Star Trader, creating an odd rhythm that echoed through the corridors. Another soft woof made the entire alien squad freeze in place. "It's getting closer," one of the soldiers whispered, his mandibles trembling. His grip tightened on his plasma rifle. Tom fought to keep his face straight. "I assure you, Commander, there's nothing to worry about." Nothing to worry about. Commander Stone's antennae twitched in what seemed to be disbelief. "Our scans show a creature with a bite force strong enough to crush bones, claws that can tear flesh, and enhanced speed and strength. And you say there's nothing to worry about." Mike, walking behind the group, coughed to hide a laugh. This earned him a sharp look from both his captain and the alien commander. They reached the cargo hold's main door. Tom placed his hand on the control panel, but Commander Stone quickly raised one of his 4 arms to stop him. "Wait." The alien commander's voice carried both authority and concern. "Before you open that door, I demand to know why you're transporting such a dangerous creature." Tom lowered his hand. "Well, you see, Commander, this creature is actually a gift." "A gift?" Stone's compound eyes shifted colors rapidly. "You use deadly biological weapons as gifts." "It's not a weapon," Tom tried to explain. "It's a companion animal. We call them." Another woof interrupted him, followed by the sound of something scratching at the cargo hold door. The alien soldiers immediately formed a defensive circle, their weapons pointed at the door. One of them activated what appeared to be an energy shield, while another pulled out a device that looked suspiciously like a grenade. "Hold your positions," Commander Stone ordered. His own weapon, an impressive-looking rifle that hummed with energy, was trained on the door. "Captain Wilson, step away from the controls. We'll handle this properly." Tom didn't move. "Commander, I really think you're overreacting. If you'd just let me explain." "Overreacting?" Stone's voice rose an octave. "Your species may be new to the galactic community, but surely you understand the danger. Our scans show this creature has the instincts of a hunter, the teeth of a carnivore, and the strength to overpower beings twice its size." Lisa, the ship's engineer, couldn't help herself. She giggled. The sound made the alien soldiers even more nervous. Their weapons began to glow as they charged up, ready to fire. "You humans are either incredibly brave or dangerously insane," Stone declared. "Living alongside such beasts, keeping them as companions, it's unnatural." Another scratch at the door, followed by a high-pitched whine. "Sir," one of the alien soldiers reported, his voice shaking, "the creature appears to be getting agitated. Our bioscanners show increased activity." Commander Stone's mandibles clicked rapidly. "This is your last warning, Captain Wilson. Step away from that door. We'll handle the containment of this beast." Tom looked at the aliens, then at his crew, then back at the door. He could hear the familiar sounds coming from inside the cargo hold, and he knew exactly what they would find. Part of him wanted to keep explaining, to help the aliens understand before they saw it. But another part of him, the part that had been holding in laughter for the past 10 minutes, decided that sometimes seeing was believing. "All right, Commander," Tom said, raising his hands and stepping back. "The door controls are all yours. But I warn you, what you're about to see might change your entire view of humanity." Commander Stone moved forward, his tall frame looming over the control panel. With movements that seemed both careful and dramatic, he pressed the emergency override sequence. The cargo hold door slid open with a soft hiss. For a moment, absolute silence fell over the corridor. Then, wagging its tail and carrying a bright blue ball in its mouth, a 3-month-old golden retriever puppy came bounding out of the cargo hold. The reaction from the alien squad was instantaneous and magnificent. Chaos erupted in the corridor of the Star Trader. Containment. Commander Stone shouted, backing away so quickly he bumped into his soldiers. The entire alien squad scrambled backward, their weapons shaking in their hands. One soldier activated his energy shield, creating a blue barrier between them and the puppy. The golden retriever puppy, completely unaware of the terror it was causing, dropped its blue ball and tilted its head at the new visitors. Its tail wagged even faster. "The beast," one soldier cried out. "It's performing some kind of intimidation display." The puppy sat down, tongue lolling out in a happy doggy smile. "By the ancient stars," another soldier whispered, "look at those teeth." Tom Wilson couldn't hold it anymore. He burst out laughing, and his crew quickly followed. The sound of human laughter mixed with alien clicks of distress created an odd symphony in the corridor. The puppy, excited by all the noise, let out a cheerful bark and playfully bowed, its rear end still up in the air, tail swishing back and forth. "It's attacking." A soldier fired his weapon in panic. The energy blast missed completely, leaving a scorch mark on the ceiling. The puppy, thinking this was all a wonderful game, barked again and jumped around playfully. "Hold your fire," Commander Stone ordered, though his own weapon remained pointed at the puppy. Captain Wilson explained this immediately. "Why is the creature performing these movements?" Tom wiped tears of laughter from his eyes. "Commander, meet Max. He's a puppy, a baby dog, and he wants to play with you." "Play?" Stone's antennae twitched in confusion. "This is a military strategy." As if to answer, Max picked up his blue ball and trotted toward the aliens, tail still wagging. The entire alien squad pressed themselves against the wall, their weapons tracking the puppy's movement. "Commander," one of the soldiers reported, his voice shaking, "our scans confirm this is the dangerous creature we detected. But it's so small." The puppy dropped the ball at Commander Stone's feet and looked up expectantly, giving a small whine. What does it want?" Stone asked, his previous authority replaced by utter bewilderment. Lisa, the ship's engineer, stepped forward slowly. "He wants you to throw the ball, Commander. It's a game. Watch." She picked up the ball, causing Max to bounce excitedly. When she threw it down the corridor, the puppy raced after it, his little paws scrambling on the metal floor. The aliens watched in fascination as Max retrieved the ball and brought it back, dropping it again at their feet. "Impossible," Stone muttered. "Our database clearly shows Earth canines are dangerous predators. They hunt in packs, bring down larger prey, and—" He trailed off as Max rolled onto his back, exposing his belly. "Would you like to pet him?" Tom asked, grinning. "Pet it?" The commander's compound eyes shifted through various colors. "Yes, just reach down and rub his belly. He loves it." The entire alien squad watched in tense silence as their commander, the fearsome Commander Stone of the Galactic Alliance, slowly reached down with one of his 4 arms. Max's tail thumped against the floor in anticipation. The moment Stone's hand touched the puppy's soft fur, Max's back leg started kicking in happiness. The commander jumped back in surprise. "The beast is having some kind of seizure," he declared. No, Mike explained, trying not to laugh again. "That's what dogs do when they're happy. It means he likes you." Stone looked at his hand, then at the puppy, then at his soldiers who were watching the scene with a mixture of terror and curiosity. Slowly, very slowly, he reached down again. This time, when Max's legs started kicking, Stone didn't pull back. Instead, his mandibles moved in what might have been the alien equivalent of a smile. "Fascinating," he murmured. "Simply fascinating." One brave soldier stepped forward for a closer look. then another. Soon, the entire alien squad was crowded around the puppy, their weapons forgotten as Max soaked up the attention. "Captain Wilson," Commander Stone said, still petting Max, "I believe we have much to discuss about Earth's companion animals." Tom nodded, watching as humanity's first major diplomatic breakthrough with the Galactic Alliance played out in the form of a puppy getting a belly rub from a 9-foot-tall alien. "Yes, Commander," he replied. "I believe we do." In the Dreadnought's conference room, Commander Stone and Captain Wilson sat across from each other. The room was designed for alien comfort, with high ceilings and perches instead of chairs, but they had managed to find a human-sized seat for Tom. Max, the puppy, lay contentedly at Tom's feet, occasionally wagging his tail when anyone looked his way. "Let me understand this correctly," Stone said, his antennae moving in slow circles as he processed information. "Your species deliberately took one of your planet's most efficient predators and turned them into—" He gestured at Max, who was now snoring softly. "This? Well, yes," Tom replied. "It happened thousands of years ago. Dogs were wolves once, but humans saw potential in them. Not as weapons, but as companions." The alien commander pulled up a holographic display showing Earth's wildlife database. Images of wolves hunting in packs flashed by, followed by various dog breeds, from tiny Chihuahuas to massive Great Danes. "Our database isn't wrong," Stone clicked thoughtfully. "The basic attributes are there. Sharp teeth, enhanced sense of smell, pack hunting instincts, impressive speed and strength for their size." "All true," Tom agreed. "But we helped them evolve into something more than just predators. They became partners, friends, protectors." A junior science officer burst into the room, his mandibles clicking excitedly. "Commander, I've finished analyzing the human data about these dogs. You won't believe what they use them for." Max woke up at the commotion and yawned widely, showing all his tiny but sharp puppy teeth. The science officer froze mid-step. "Continue," Stone ordered, while keeping all 4 eyes on Max. "Well, sir," the officer said, pulling up more holographic displays, "humans use these predators for everything. They help hunt other animals, yes, but they also guard homes, find lost people, guide the blind, help sick humans feel better, detect diseases, find dangerous substances." "Remarkable," Stone murmured. "And all this from a predator species." "That's not even the strangest part," the officer continued. "Humans let them sleep in their homes. They feed them with their hands. They even—" He paused dramatically. "They even put tiny outfits on them and call them good boys." As if recognizing the phrase, Max's tail started wagging furiously. He trotted over to the science officer, sat down, and offered his paw. The officer looked at Tom in panic. "What's it doing? Is this an attack posture?" Tom chuckled. "No, he wants to shake hands. It's a trick we taught him. Go ahead, take his paw and shake it gently." The entire room watched in tense silence as the alien officer slowly reached out one of his lower arms. Max waited patiently, paw still raised. When they made contact, Max gave a gentle shake, then pulled back his paw and barked happily. "Fascinating," the officer whispered. "The control, the gentleness, it knows exactly how much strength to use." "That's because dogs are incredibly intelligent and emotionally aware," Tom explained. "They can read human faces, understand our tone of voice, even sense when we're sad or sick." Commander Stone leaned forward on his perch. "But why? Why would your species put so much effort into befriending a predator?" Tom thought for a moment. "I suppose because we saw something of ourselves in them. Humans are also predators, you know. We're persistence hunters, tool users. But like dogs, we're also social creatures. We form bonds, care for each other, protect our families." The room fell silent as the aliens processed this information. Max had returned to Tom's feet and was now chewing contentedly on his favorite toy. "Are you saying," Stone asked slowly, that your entire species has the same predatory capabilities as these dogs. Tom smiled. Commander, humans don't just have predatory capabilities. We're one of the most successful predator species in Earth's history. We're also builders, explorers, and yes, friends to other species, just like Max here. The implications of this statement seemed to hit all the aliens at once. They looked at the peaceful puppy, then at Tom, then back at the puppy. Perhaps, Commander Stone said carefully, we should update our database regarding humans as well. That might be wise, Tom agreed, reaching down to scratch Max behind the ears. After all, any species that can turn a wolf into a puppy probably shouldn't be underestimated. The science officer looked at his datapad, then at Max, who had rolled over for belly rubs again. Sir, he said to Commander Stone, I believe we may need to rethink our entire first contact protocols. Would you like to see what Max can really do? Tom asked, standing up from his chair in the conference room. The group of aliens had been discussing dogs for over an hour, and he thought a practical demonstration might help them understand better. Commander Stone's antennae twitched nervously. You mean a display of its hunting abilities? Even better, Tom smiled. Max, come here, boy. The puppy bounded over, tail wagging. The alien science officer had finally stopped flinching every time Max moved, though he still kept his data pad between himself and the dog like a shield. Watch this, Tom said. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small treat. Every alien in the room tensed as they saw it. You're going to feed it, one guard asked in horror. With your hands. Max, sit, Tom commanded. Immediately, the puppy planted his bottom on the floor, looking up expectantly at the treat. His tail swept back and forth across the metal deck. Good boy. Tom gave him the treat, which Max gently took from his fingers. The aliens watched in amazement. It understood your verbal command. The science officer asked, frantically taking notes, and showed such restraint while taking food. That's nothing, Tom grinned. Max, lay down. The puppy flopped onto his belly. Roll over. Max rolled onto his back, then all the way over. Play dead. The puppy dramatically fell to his side and stayed still, tongue lolling out. The alien observers were absolutely fascinated. Commander Stone had moved closer, his initial fear apparently forgotten in the face of scientific curiosity. The level of obedience is remarkable, he noted, and all without any physical restraints or technological controls. Just training, trust, and lots of love, Tom explained. Here, would you like to try? He held out a treat to Commander Stone, who took it with surprising gentleness. What should I do? The commander asked. Hold the treat up, like this, Tom demonstrated. Then say sit in a clear voice. Commander Stone's mandibles clicked nervously as he held up the treat. Max's attention immediately focused on him, ears perked forward. As sit, Stone's voice cracked slightly. Max sat perfectly, tail wagging. Now give him the treat and say good boy. Stone carefully extended his arm, expecting the puppy to snap at the food. Instead, Max delicately took the treat, his tail wagging even faster at the praise. Incredible, Stone whispered. The control, the intelligence. Want to see something really special? Tom asked. He walked to his bag and pulled out Max's favorite squeaky toy, a small rubber bone. The moment Max saw the toy, he started bouncing with excitement. Tom tossed it across the room, and the puppy charged after it. Several aliens jumped back as Max thundered past them, but their fear quickly turned to fascination as they watched him retrieve the toy and bring it back to Tom. He wants to play with you, Tom told Commander Stone, holding out the toy. Just throw it gently. Stone took the toy as if it might explode. When he threw it, Max raced after it again, his little paws skittering on the smooth floor. The speed, the science officer exclaimed. The agility, but all channeled into play. That's right, Tom said. All that predatory instinct, the chasing, The grabbing, the retrieving, turned into a game. For the next 20 minutes, the aliens took turns throwing the toy for Max, who never seemed to tire of the game. Even the guards had joined in, their weapons completely forgotten. Finally, Max flopped down in the middle of the room, panting heavily. Without any hesitation, the science officer reached down and scratched behind his ears. "Commander," he said, looking up at Stone, "I believe we've seriously misunderstood both Earth animals and humans themselves." Commander Stone nodded, watching as Max rolled over to accept belly rubs from two more alien officers. "Indeed," he agreed. "Any species that can take a predator's hunting instincts and redirect them into fetch is either brilliant or insane, perhaps both." Tom laughed. "That's humanity in a nutshell, Commander. We see something with sharp teeth and claws, and our first thought is, I bet it would like belly rubs." The aliens looked at him, then at Max, who was now snoring peacefully surrounded by his new alien friends. "Captain Wilson," Commander Stone said seriously, "I believe your little beast may have just revolutionized galactic diplomacy." The Dreadnought's main observation deck had been quickly converted into an impromptu classroom. Dozens of alien crew members sat or perched, their attention fixed on Captain Tom Wilson and Max, who was currently chasing his own tail to the aliens' mixed amusement and confusion. "So you see," Tom continued his lecture, pointing to the holographic display showing Earth's history, "humans and dogs have been partners for at least 15,000 years, maybe even longer." "But how did it start?" asked an alien historian, her antennae waving with curiosity. "Why would your ancestors approach such dangerous creatures?" Tom clicked to the next image, showing ancient cave paintings of humans hunting alongside wolves. "Nobody knows for sure. Maybe some brave wolf decided humans were interesting. Maybe some crazy human thought a wolf pup was cute. Either way, both species realized we were better together than apart." "Better together?" Commander Stone asked from his position at the front. "How so?" "Well, wolves. That's what dogs evolved from. They had better noses, better ears, more speed. Humans had tools, fire, and the ability to plan ahead. Together, we could hunt better, stay safer, keep each other warm." As if to demonstrate, Max trotted over to Tom and leaned against his leg, looking up adoringly. "But surely there were incidents?" another alien asked. "Attacks? Betrayals?" Tom nodded. "Of course, any relationship between species has its risks. But something amazing happened over thousands of years. Dogs evolved to understand human emotions, to read our faces, to want to make us happy. And humans learned to understand dogs too." He pulled up another display, this one showing different dog breeds. "Look at this. Every one of these is the same species, just bred for different purposes. Some for hunting, some for herding, some just to be companions." The aliens murmured in amazement at the variety, from tiny Yorkies to massive St. Bernards. "And they all still have predator instincts?" the science officer asked, taking notes rapidly. "Yes, but they choose to use those instincts to help us." Tom changed the display again, showing working dogs. "These dogs find lost people in disasters. These ones detect diseases in humans before our machines can. These help people with disabilities. These guard our homes and families." Max had fallen asleep during the lecture, snoring softly at Tom's feet. Several aliens had slowly edged closer to pet him. "But what about the ecological impact?" An environmental specialist clicked worriedly, introducing a predator species to new environments. Tom smiled. "That's another amazing thing. Dogs have adapted to live wherever humans live. From the coldest Arctic to the hottest deserts. They don't disturb local ecosystems because they're completely dependent on us now. We're their pack, their family." Commander Stone, who had been quietly observing, finally spoke up. "You keep using that word, family. You consider these predators family?" "Absolutely." Tom reached down to scratch Max's ears, making the puppy's leg twitch in his sleep. Dogs love unconditionally. They're loyal, protective, and caring. They understand when we're sad and try to comfort us. They celebrate when we're happy. They're not just pets, they're family members. The observation deck was silent for a moment as the aliens processed this. So, the science officer said slowly, when our scans detected predator attributes. You weren't wrong, Tom chuckled. Max here could grow up to be strong enough to knock down a human, with teeth sharp enough to cause serious damage. But he never will, because he loves us. We gave dogs a choice thousands of years ago. Be our enemies or be our family. They chose family. Commander Stone stepped forward, looking down at the sleeping puppy. And this choice, this bond between species, it's changed both humans and dogs. Exactly, Tom said enthusiastically. Some scientists think humans and dogs evolved together. We became less aggressive, more social. They became more attuned to emotions, more cooperative. We helped each other become better. The commander's antennae twitched thoughtfully. Perhaps this explains much about your species, Captain Wilson. Any race that can turn a predator into a sleeping ball of fur through kindness and patience, that's not a race to be underestimated. As if on cue, Max rolled over in his sleep, exposing his belly. Several aliens immediately reached down to give him belly rubs, no longer showing any fear of his predator heritage. No, Commander, Tom agreed, watching the scene with amusement. It's definitely not. 3 days after the initial encounter, the Star Trader's crew prepared for departure from the dreadnought. The small cargo ship floated in the massive docking bay, but its departure had been delayed by an unusual amount of visitors, all coming to say goodbye to Max. Remember, Tom explained to a group of alien scientists, he's still growing. He'll be about twice this size when he's fully grown. Twice. An alien researcher clicked excitedly, making notes. And you say this is actually a small to medium-sized breed. Before Tom could answer, Commander Stone entered the docking bay. The assembled aliens snapped to attention, but their commander seemed different now. His formerly rigid posture was more relaxed, and his antennae swayed gently, a sign they had learned meant contentment. Captain Wilson, Stone called out, a moment of your time before you depart. Tom nodded and followed the commander to a quiet corner of the bay. Max trotted along behind them, his blue ball still firmly in his mouth. The Galactic Alliance Council has reviewed my report. Stone began, his mandibles clicking softly. They were quite interested in our discoveries about Earth's domesticated animals, particularly dogs. I hope that's a good thing, Tom said with a smile. Very good, Stone assured him. In fact, they've made several decisions. First, all Alliance ships are being updated with new first contact protocols regarding Earth vessels. No more weapons-free responses to detected predator species aboard. They both chuckled at that, remembering the initial panic. Second, Stone continued, the Council has approved an exchange program. They would like to send researchers to Earth to study the human-canine bond. And perhaps some humans could visit our worlds, bringing their dogs to help us understand better. Max chose that moment to drop his ball at Stone's feet, looking up with hopeful eyes. The commander, now well trained in the art of fetch, picked it up and tossed it across the bay. Third, Stone said, watching Max bound after the ball, they want to explore the possibility of using dogs in interspecies relations. The Council believes their ability to form emotional bonds could be valuable in diplomatic situations. You're going to use dogs as diplomats? Tom laughed. Not exactly, Stone clicked. But think about it, Captain. In just 3 days, this small puppy has completely changed how my entire crew views both Earth and humanity. He's made hardened warriors play fetch. He's taught scientists new theories about interspecies cooperation. He's made my security team argue over who gets to give him belly rubs. As if proving his point, Max returned with the ball and was immediately surrounded by adoring aliens, each wanting one last chance to pet him. And finally, Stone said, his voice becoming more formal. I have a personal request. Oh, the Council has appointed me as the primary liaison for Earth relations. I'll be traveling to your planet next month to establish proper diplomatic ties. And I was wondering. He paused, his antennae twitching nervously. Could you recommend a good place to obtain a puppy of my own? Tom grinned broadly. I think we can arrange something, Commander. A small alarm chimed, indicating the Star Trader's departure time had arrived. The aliens reluctantly said their goodbyes to Max, many of them giving him treats they had specially synthesized for dogs. As Tom and his crew boarded their ship, Commander Stone made one final announcement to the bay. Let the record show, he declared, that on this day, the Galactic Alliance officially recognizes Earth's dogs as Class A diplomatic assets, not biological weapons, and let it also show that humanity's ability to turn predators into friends makes them one of the most remarkable species we've encountered. The Star Trader's engines hummed to life. Through the viewport, Tom could see aliens waving goodbye to Max, who was pressing his nose against the window, tail wagging. You know, Mike said from his station, when we left Earth, I didn't expect our cargo run to change galactic politics. Well, Tom replied, watching the dreadnought's docking bay doors open, who would have thought the most powerful weapon in human history would turn out to be puppy dog eyes? As the Star Trader pulled away from the massive alien ship, Max curled up in his favorite spot on the bridge, tired from 3 days of being the galaxy's first canine ambassador. And somewhere in the dreadnought's command center, Commander Stone was already making plans to visit Earth's animal shelters, wondering if perhaps the universe had been waiting for humanity to teach it the simple power of loving across species. The end.